The island in Sons of the Forest is home to many strange phenomena. Imagine for a moment what it would be like for gravity to be completely unlike what you've known your entire life. In this playthrough, I want to see what it's like to survive in Sons of the Forest with opposite gravity. I spawned in the mountains, and as soon as I could control my character, I changed the gravity. Gravity in Sons of the Forest is usually around -10, it seems, so I tried putting it as a positive number. What the hell? That shouldn't have happened. Ignoring that strange phenomenon, I rushed over to the containers that had already started floating away. I desperately needed the items that were inside. Luckily, for whatever reason, the larger totes containing items such as the tarp didn't start floating away until after I opened them. After gathering all the items that I could, I decided to open up the emergency pack only to find a new issue. You see, apparently, while my inventory is open, my character slowly starts to float upwards. I would need to be quick when utilizing my inventory, otherwise I might fall and break my legs. Or worse. I helped Kelvin and started what I thought might otherwise be a normal playthrough, when Kelvin decided to start ascending. Kelvin? You get down here right now, young man. Don't you ascend to the heavens when I'm talking to you. Sometimes farewells come really fast. Goodbye, Kelvin. I feel like we barely knew you. After wishing Kelvin the best in his endeavors in a higher plane of existence, I decided to try getting some building materials. I had a bad feeling. Upon seeing the tree starting to float away, I thought maybe I could grab it in the air. And I was wrong. Well, what am I supposed to do about this then? And then it hit me. An idea, not the tree. I mean, yes, also the tree. Anyway, if I cut down a tree near other trees, perhaps it would get stuck and I could grab the logs. Oh yeah, it's big brain time. Upon finally getting 2 logs, I noticed there was a nearby cave. I placed down my logs so they wouldn't run away and headed towards the cave. As I reached the cave, I noticed a cute little defenseless rabbit. Oh, no you don't. Wait, give me your meat before you go into orbit. Oh, yeah, this is totally normal. After ridding the world of that dangerous monster, I gathered all the useful items strewn about by the nearby tents. Heading into the cave, I happened upon Sans Undertale's second cousin twice removed, who offered me a cloth of pristine quality. On my way back to the crash site, I attempted to gather some sticks. That went about as well as you'd expect. Slightly frustrated, but not surprised, I regrouped with my 2 new friends James Wood and Woodrow Wilson and headed down the mountain. As a part of this playthrough, I wanted to challenge myself by attempting to build a home in an negative gravity? Opposite gravity? I'm actually not sure what's going on with the gravity. In any case, I wanted to challenge myself by attempting to build a home in a gravity environment. As I progressed down the mountain, I was momentarily worried for the safety of James and Woodrow, but this time, it seemed gravity was on my side. I happened upon a corpse being hung from a cliff, so I decided to cut him down, only to remember that things do not, well, go down. Oh, okay, you coming this way, buddy? Yeah, no, take your time. After pressing on for a short while longer, I found a camp that contained more containers and, more importantly, the modern axe. Using the modern axe would make chopping down trees much easier. Not that it really mattered since all the logs were super antisocial and didn't want to be around me. It was after numerous failures that I realized I could chop down a tree at the bottom of a hill or a cliff, run up the cliff, jump off, and then grab the logs with relative ease. Unfortunately, even with utilizing this strategy, building a home was going to be quite the challenge. A short time passed, and as I was walking back to my base, I noticed some of the locals practicing their anti-gravity magics. Okay, bye? Normally, they are supposed to be hiding in a pile of sticks and leaves on the ground, but I suppose they got bored of waiting? The gathering of logs took an exorbitant amount of time, but at least I was guaranteed 1 or 2 logs per tree now. After spending almost a whole day gathering wood, it was now nighttime. I looked up into the sky and wondered if the moon was also slowly floating away from the Earth. And if so, what that meant for us here living on Earth. Meh, I'm sure it's fine. The next morning, I quickly got a drink of water from a very clean source and ate some raw fish that I'm pretty sure has been stewing in my backpack for the past 20 hours. Eating the fish took longer than I expected and I was worried about fall damage, but it seems that with the change in gravity, I can fall further than normal without taking damage. Before returning to work, I admired the great migration of the logs. Nature is beautiful. Utilizing all the logs that I had gathered prior to going to sleep, I decided to progress the construction of my home when… Why are they so freaking creepy? After realizing that they probably fell off the face of the earth, I once again focused on building my home. I also realized that apparently my character must apply glue before placing the logs because they are completely unaffected by gravity. After a painstaking amount of time, I finally finished my house. Ish. At that moment, I began to wonder what had happened to all the logs that flew away, so I returned gravity back to normal. At first, I thought perhaps they had all disappeared after getting a certain distance away, but suddenly, everything everywhere all at once, including the cannibals that had been spirited away, returned. Well, everything except Kelvin. I took a look at my GPS to see which direction Kelvin might have flown off to when I was rudely interrupted. Now in a state of panic, I did the only thing I knew how to do. As a final challenge in this playthrough, I attempted to rendezvous with Kelvin, wherever he might be. For no particular reason whatsoever, I decided that time was of the essence, so I boosted my running speed so that I could save Kelvin faster. Although the controls were wonky at best. I had made it all the way to the beach and yet there was still no sign of Kelvin. I feared that he may no longer even be on the same plane of existence. During my search for Kelvin, I happened upon a tribe of cannibals who didn't seem thrilled about me playing with the laws of nature. After de-escalating the situation by having civilized conversation, I once again tried to get a read on Kelvin's whereabouts. I zoomed through the water thinking that surely I would eventually run into Kelvin, only to run into an invisible wall instead. What's worse, according to the GPS, he was way beyond the invisible wall. But perhaps this invisible wall was a metaphor for our progress as human beings. As individuals and as a species, we are unable to improve or progress without overcoming many obstacles. But oftentimes, these obstacles themselves are unclear to us. So anyway, I turned up the gravity to 500 and tried blasting over the invisible wall. After getting at least 12 bananas of height, I looked down upon the island. All my troubles now seemed so far away. You know, except for the whole about to leave the atmosphere thing. After being unable to find Kelvin, I wanted to see what would happen if I turned gravity up to 100,000. And it was at that moment that I realized the game had crashed and I was just staring at a black screen for a good 20 seconds. Anyway, thanks for watching.